Hello and welcome to UAT Time within the United Countries Special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website, firstuat.com. I'm Sergey, Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier. Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other by introducing the real Ukraine to the rest of the world.
New Tax Code 2016, Anti-Corruption Forum, and it's not the end of what is in the plans to happen in the next couple of weeks till the new year. What can we expect? Will there be changes for good or for worse?
Our guest today is Andriy Dligach, co-founder of Civic Platform, the new country.
Welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. And
thank you for the invitation.
Probably the question number one is the bill or potential new tax code, or the version of it is number 3357
or 3630.
Yes.
We have two different projects, law projects, but I want to say that one, 3357, was prepared by a huge group of civil experts and of a special committee of Parliament. And this code is a liberal code on taxation reform.
Okay.
Another version of this code was prepared by Ministry of Finance, but unfortunately we do not know exactly the names of the authors of this law. But as we saw, this law is not liberal.
Okay.
This law conserves our current system, corruption system in the taxation system.
Well, as far as I understand, the authors of the law is PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Probably.
And, at least the statement on the Ministry of Finance website is actually clearly states that the assistance to the Ukrainian government by the UK government, and it states that under this agreement the UK government disburses funds directly to PricewaterhouseCoopers, who carry the work out on the behalf of Ukraine with our oversight. And another interesting issue is that the IMF statement says that they fully support the Ministry of Finance version, right, 3630. And again, on as their statement, they say, "It is with concern that we have observed the discussions yesterday in Parliament that effectively rejected the government's proposal for a new tax code and the government budget for 2016. Now, the question is, what is going on?
Of course, civil society and even experts from Parliament, from Verkhovna Rada, we didn't have a chance to communicate with IMF in the way that Ministry of Finance has. So we prepared liberal reforms based on several key points. One of the key points is the changes of the state fiscal administration role, to make them consultants more than police.
All right.
The second issue is the changes in taxation rates. Because of current situation in economy, hidden part of economy is approximately 70% of GDP, etc. We need to make the economy official. So we proposed changes in the rates of the taxation. The third issue is the changes in culture of taxes in Ukraine. The first and the very important issue is that tax administrator make a decision how many taxes company should pay to state budget.
Okay.
So we need to completely change the system to make this automatically, to return VAT for exporters, etc. To make it absolutely in automatic way. Unfortunately, Ministry of Finance conserved the current system, untypical for developed economies. So of course we proposed to Ministry of Finance to make this law jointly. We were open for them during the last year more than 12 months. But unfortunately, Ministry of Finance decided to make this law without civil experts and without Verkhovna Rada.
How you explain that? This is incredible. This is incredible. You know,
it's absolutely not democratic way and non-liberal way.
Well, let me state the position of the Ministry of Finance. They said on their website again that in the frameworks of the preparation of this project, Ministry of Finance has had over 20 meetings with the civil representatives, business, international, and Ukrainian experts.
It's true. It's true. Ministry of Finance proposed some kind of open platform for different civil groups and tax experts. We proposed our ideas and visions to Ministry of Finance, and that's all.
But they listen to you, but they do nothing.
Yes, they closed after these open platforms. They closed our joint process, and they were concentrated on their decisions. Unfortunately, Ministry of Finance had to make this proposition not later than in July this year. But they shown their code only on November.
Okay.
So we decided to work jointly with Committee of Parliament and to prepare this code. We have prepared it, I think, on August this year.
My question is this: why does IMF support the government's version of the tax code? I mean, what kind of reforms is there? There is, because again, on their statement is approval of a budget that deviates from program objectives for 2016 and the medium term will interrupt the program and inevitably disrupt the associated international financing. So basically, they say that if the government's proposal isn't supported, then so what's the deal?
For me, you know, I don't know your opinion, but you know, I think the IMF they have the main problem than the EU in this way. That means they are, excuse me, but they really don't know what's happened already sometime. And you know, for the IMF or for the EU, for them, what they see the law. The law is voted or the law is not voted? Oh, the law is voted. Okay, and they really they don't take care of the process of the law. They don't take care because this is in their way of thinking. You know, they think only in the top level management, the top level economy, and I think that's why you have this I say contradiction. That's why, because they don't understand. But this is in the culture of the IMF. This is in the culture of the European Union. They only take care about the top level and not of the process of the law, not of the process of the transformation. And that's big gap for the EU and for the IMF. I don't know what you think about that.
I think that you're right, but I want to say the following. First of all, it's not our fault that we didn't manage to explain IMF our position. We had several meetings with IMF, but IMF don't think about civil society as a subject of reforms and changes in Ukraine, of course. But from the other hand, we of course think that IMF is very important for Ukraine, for stability in Ukraine. But IMF is not an institution which is about reforms in Ukraine. We need to make reforms ourselves. IMF asked Ukrainian government to do not broke our promises concerning state budget, deficit of this budget. Of course, when Minister of Finance promised to IMF that their law and their budget proposed made IMF terms, of course IMF believe in Minister of Finance, not in civil society, civil experts, of course. But Ukraine do not need stability. Stability on the lowest level of GDP per capita in Europe it's not a good stability for Ukraine.
No. Yeah.
Of course, we need development. Ministry of Finance and Prime Minister thinks in terms of stability or very small growth on the next years. But we think in terms of growth of GDP, in terms of plus 10% a year. It's what we need after this huge, huge
and this is
loss
possible.
last year.
This is possible with your economy to have
Of course.
this increasing GDP of 10% per year. This
Of
is
course.
possible.
It's absolutely possible, and we know these instruments. And this,
You are an economist, and,
Yes.
and this is possible to do.
If we deal with corruption.
Yes.
Yes. Now, well,
it is why I want
Yeah.
to point one thing, that our code 3357 is anti-corruption law, not only the taxation law, but anti-corruption.
But really, Andrei, we have here a problem for me. And this fact for me underline a big problem. The problem is communication.
Yes.
Communication. Why a government can do 20 meetings with civil society and no communication about the process, about the result.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me,
Quite
this is
right.
the big gap. No communication. You don't
here's the thing.
communicate.
I want to address this issue from a little different viewpoint. We often heard for the past several years that we need to have people in government who graduated from Western universities because they are educated, they know all the issues of communication, management, and all that stuff. Well, right after Maidan, quite a few of those people went in sacrificing their own good for the sake of the country, but many people still dissatisfied. Yes. Some of those people, former top managers, had to leave the government because they couldn't find the way to really implement their professionalism, and some remained. Pretty much, we have a lot of high compliments about the Minister of Finance and many other. Well, as far as professional.
Yes.
But what is happening? Why? What changes? Why do they change like that? Why do they act like this? Just like as they were in the government for 20 years, you know?
The problem is the system. The system. That means you can have a good idea, but if you are totally lost in the system, you can put few. You have a system, post-Soviet system, and you change only some ministry and some deputy minister. But if all the administration is still there, even if you have the best graduate of
not only
Harvard,
personalities, but also the whole system, process. Even the reform of state of cabinet of ministers, we didn't manage it to move into parliament. They are against these changes.
Yeah.
Corruption in the Ukrainian system of governance is still very strong. We have very simple metrics which is explained all this situation in Ukraine. Two dichotomies. One dichotomy is conservation or modernization of economy. And the second dichotomy is control, paternalism, or responsible trust or freedom.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hydra and Cabinet of Ministers thinks in terms of conservation and paternalism and control. Even in this taxation court, they use these terms. But we speak about modernization and responsible trust and freedom in economy, in state governance, in, for example, in justice system. In Ukraine, we have lack of trust because we do not have trust system at all.
But why after Maidan they don't remove all this old administration? Why they don't remove the high civil servants and all these old administration?
You mean the current leaders?
The current leader, the political leader.
They're interested to use this old system in order to earn money.
And
on
that's
this.
the problem.
Yes, from
And
state
that's
budget, from state companies, from public purchases, etc.
Now,
And that's why even if you are graduate from Harvard, if you go to this system, you will change
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
we'll get back to the corruption issue because I want to hear more about the anti-corruption forum.
Yeah.
But one question I have: why would the UK government pay to a private company, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for them to?
Pricewaterhouse. It's another. It's a bit another company. He is like a franchise company here in Ukraine.
Franchise, yes, franchise.
Okay, okay.
Underline this fact. This is important.
Pricewaterhouse. Well, but basically, no. There's person that finds directly to PwC.
Maybe.
That's what you know. So PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Maybe.
PricewaterhouseCoopers,
Well,
not franchising company.
Specifically, well, this is the statement from the website of. Okay. So and it's signed by Judith Guth, British ambassador to Ukraine. Why would they be so interested to pay? And nobody knows how much. I mean, you know, rumors, but nobody knows. Anyway, why?
Why UK pay for this reform?
Why would the UK pay their own money for this? Not the European Union funds or foundations, or specifically the country to pay this. What kind of interest do they have in this?
This is a very interesting question, but you have to understand, and this question open to another question: the policy of the EU and the policy of the state member of the EU.
Okay. So
that's mean
you are the expert. Tell me.
Yeah, that's mean.
Okay.
You have two policy in the EU. You have the policy of the European Union and the policy of the European Commission. And you have the policy of each state member of the European Union.
Okay.
And sometimes the policy of the state member of the European Union can be different from the policy of the European Commission.
Okay.
And sometimes the policy of a state member of the European Union can be against the policy of the European Commission.
Okay. So.
And that's, I think, the problem.
So
that's the UK. Here, UK does not take care about the policy of the European Union. They do their own game in Ukraine for their own interest. That's mean economical interest.
Well, I don't know if it's good or bad. I just state this fact, and I'm just curious, why would a specific country take interest in sponsoring?
I think it's not a bad way. We thank to United Kingdom.
I mean,
this way because we really need funding of this process of preparing laws, etc. Because volunteers are don't have a lot of capacity to do this, and of course state budget cannot cover these expenses on preparing codes.
But my question is, they supported the development of the budget that now we as civil society, we fight against.
Yes.
They have their own interest.
Unfortunately, transparency is a very important issue for Ukraine for now. So, of course, we asked our deputies in Rada to make their questions to Ministry of Finance on this issue. So I think that we will know more about preparation of their law. But of course, you are quite right that question of taxes is a question of corruption.
Yes.
Still in Ukraine.
Well, and now we'll get to this right now. On December 23, I don't know if it's an unprecedented event, but at least it looks like it. At least it's the biggest or one of the most urgent events since Maidan, pretty much. Anti-corruptional forum. Its purpose to concentrate the efforts and powers of society to fight with corruption in all of the spheres. Law enforcement, economics, politics, etc. Now, some of the major social and civil movements and organizations participate in it. Mikhail Saakashvili as well, and so would you? I know. I've followed your announcement about that.
Yes.
Actually, when was yesterday or on Friday on
Friday,
Prime
Friday.
Time TV?
Yeah.
You spoke about that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So what is it?
So, after the 2 years after Maidan, we see that I mean civil society, we see that most of our ideas or projects or laws are not changing the system at all.
Yeah.
For example, we introduced to government project named Prozoro as a public purchasing project, electronic public
Yes.
public procurement. But still, this project is restricted by amount of money, and this project is not cover all public
So they use only in
procurement. Yes.
Narrow.
Yes.
Okay.
And the same situation with almost all ideas. Our ideas do not change system.
Okay.
So we decided to start anti-corruption movement, or maybe it will be some kind of platform, etc. We need to consolidate civil society in order to kill Hydra, corruption, oligarch system in Ukraine. We do not speak about person in corruption system. We do not speak about corruptioneers. We speak only about system. We need to change system, not to change personalities in this system.
But in this way, I think, I was also on Maidan, and we have some common friends with Andriy. The process of Maidan is not ended. We are only on the beginning of the process.
Yes.
And you were on Maidan. You know that the Rada of Maidan, the Maidan protester, the Maidaners, they were not for those leaders. Never they were for those leaders.
Yeah.
And that's the result.
Well, I think that's why the anti-corruption forum is a continuation.
Yeah, there's a continuation.
Maybe we will show to, for example, the European Union a new way of leadership, group leadership. Unfortunately, we do not have personalities in our groups. We do have group and joint common vision of how to beat the corruption in Ukraine.
Andrei, 2 weeks ago, I was talking with my friend, the former President Henri Malos, President of the European Economic Civil Committee.
Yeah.
He said to me, Olivier, what is going on? What is going on in Ukraine? Because he understood that something was going on. Because 2 years after Maidan, he said, Olivier, what is going on? Do they have new leaders? Because in Brussels, we don't understand, and we need to trust. We need to trust, and right now they have problem to trust those leaders. And the problem of, in this Time magazine, you have an article about corruption with some problem with the Prime Minister of Ukraine, and really the effect on the European Union for the financial aid, it will be huge.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think all the former Maidaners, they have to think about some leaders, come on. Because the EU is waiting for that, the IMF and USA also is waiting
we cannot appoint a leader.
I know.
Of course, we will found in civil society new leaders, and forum is a platform for these new leaders.
You have a lot of
to
brilliant
show
person.
their position, their ideas, etc.
You have a lot of brilliant person.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, but Ukrainian tradition, we speak about two Ukrainians are 3 generals. But yes. This forum is not a leaders forum. This forum is a civil forum, and of course we will see new, brilliant, potential leaders on this forum. We expect more than 3,000 attendees of this forum this Wednesday, day after tomorrow. And the main idea is to find a way how to beat system.
Well, my final statement probably would be It's true that before we get new names, we need to change the system, beat the corruptional system, because if we see, as I mentioned, some of the good representatives from the business, once they get into the system, then they get, you know, this disease or something, I don't know.
Sergey, I think the new leaders, they will destroy the system.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have to wait for the end of this time. The new leader will destroy the system.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We wish you luck on the meeting, on the forum, because hopefully it's going to be very constructional, less emotion, more constructivism in the development.
I can say that to Andriy that we will be there on Wednesday on UAT time.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you need our help to talk about anti-corruption after Wednesday, we will be happy at the end of January.
We're all ready for that. So thank you. It was United Country UAT time by First Ukraine. Our guest was Andriy Dligach, co-founder of Civic Platform, the new country.
Olivier Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we'll show to you the real Ukraine.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.